This aeronautic showcase shares some of the most notable and exciting innovations pursued by NASA and our many collaborators and partners. We work with legacy and emerging industries, and we bring diverse thinkers from a breadth of skills and disciplines to pursue convergent solutions to our most challenging problems today and for the future.
And you picked up on the three key words, that John used: discover, advance, and catalyze. And I think those are so incredibly important and incredibly appropriate for this event.
It's a whole new area, and especially when you start thinking about air taxis and all the other things that we're going to have. How do you integrate all that into the national airspace?
AI is assisting humans to transform vast amounts of data from many diverse sources into information so they can make decisions quickly and efficiently. This is what we call reasoning. And when you weave that data and reasoning together, the result is a dynamic digital ecosystem we call the fabric.
Stereo, or Scalable Traffic Management for Emergency Response Operations, was really based off the premise of, can we take some of the modern technology that we've been developing, the UAS traffic management systems, the autonomy, the communications systems, and our knowledge of human factors, and can we start taking some of those innovations we've been working on for the past couple of decades and start getting those into the hands of the firefighters, and particularly in areas where there's non-connected environments.
So I know that a lot of us go through a lot of things personally beyond the work, but how are you able to navigate it in a positive way that it will all work out? So that was probably my major hurdle. That built me actually a lot of thick skin now that I'm jumping into the whole from startup to a corporate world. Nothing hurts me now after going through all that.
Here in NASA, obviously a lot of us are technically trained. On the other hand, though, if you want new ideas, it's good to bring in people with different backgrounds who see things differently.
And so to me, when you ask me about this public acceptance, it's about communications. And it's about our frequent and clear communications on what we do and how do we take the customer experience considerations, how do we take customer safety considerations, and we actually implement them into our design.
And we gathered all those challenges. There were 1,000. We bucketed them into themes.
Yeah.
And we came up with 100 projects that those teams came up with ideas and suggestions. It was a 9-month project. We completely overhauled the operation. We're empowered all the way from the CEO. And from then on, those major disruptions have not been as much of an issue.
Event takes a lot of creativity and persistence, of course, perseverance to come up with solutions to these really complex problems. And I will say the other thing that kind of drives me being, on the research side, the sense of discovery, I think is really exciting. And so I'd say that, a combination of being able to use creativity regularly with my colleagues coming up with new solutions and discovering something that can enable our future aviation community, I think is what really motivates me and makes me love working at NASA.
NASA Aeronautics is inviting students to show us their vision of the future of aviation. This is their chance to dream with us, create with us, and share what they see in the years and decades ahead. The Dream With Us Challenge will ask students to develop a more sustainable commercial aircraft. Teams will prepare a marketing plan to sell their aircraft and explore sustainability topics.
A lot of data is public, is out there. The challenge is to put it in front of you in one shot, in one place. In addition to the data, there is with customers with IP that cannot be shared publicly, but there is so much data that is public, and only having it in some place that you can look at it, learn from it, discover, use it, that's by itself is very beneficial.
Right, and that was the whole point of of your development of the SMA database, so that it is available to the public. It's taking all the reference data, putting it in one place, and allowing people to manipulate it, see it, and so forth. So yeah, that's a real public service, into the community.
One of the highlights of a test pilot's career is flying something like an X-plane. I'm one of 3 pilots that's going to fly it. I'm probably not going to be first. The Lockheed Martin test pilot is scheduled to make the first few flights, and then Nils Larson, the other NASA test pilot, and I will be getting on board pretty soon after that. But to fly a unique airplane like this that others haven't flown is just an amazing thing to be able to do.
So we had to prove beyond doubt to international communities, not just regulators and airlines and the general public, etc., that we're not going to introduce an airplane that will make significant sonic boom and that can upset their life and the quality of life and so on.
But I guess it's also thinking about expanding the boundary a little bit, right? So it is about the operating emissions of the aircraft and stop adding more to the mix, and as Jim said, neutralizing those emissions. But it's also about building aircraft in a more sustainable way. It's also about operating the airport in a more sustainable way. So there is a pledge by Airport Council International, for example, for their airports to reach net zero emissions by 2050, as well as from airlines. So it's about the life cycle emissions of the fuels, whether these fuels are sustainable based or not. So the boundary really just grows and becomes bigger and bigger.
Wow, fantastic. So we might be able to see an airplane, or let's call it a plane, an aircraft of a larger scale on another planet someday, potentially, huh?
Absolutely. I know that there's been a few proposals for how we can not just fly with rotorcraft on other planets, or on other planetary bodies, but also perhaps with fixed wing one day.